Hello, this video is to introduce you to the Ipswich Pagan Council and to perhaps save you from reading through pages and pages of our website by summarising the information. Now, the Ipswich Pagan Council is kind of what it sounds like on the tin. It's a community of pagans based in Ipswich, Suffolk, which is on the east coast of Britain. We were founded in 1994 by a small group of us. I was one of the small group of people who helped to found the IPC. And the initial idea was that the IPC would operate something along the lines of an ecumenical council, which is something that various different Christian churches of different denominations try to get together so that Methodists and Baptists and Catholics and Christadelphians and what have you can all talk to each other on equal terms without their usual rivalries and hostilities that have sometimes gone on in the past and occasionally flare up again in the present. So in a similar vein, we thought it would be a good idea to have a body of people who could gather together, meet as equals, and it wouldn't matter if they were Wiccans or heathens or druids or Cometics or Hellenics or pagans of no specific path, but just sort of general seekers and explorers, where all of those different types of pagans could come together. And no one group would dominate or set the agenda that others would have to follow. It would be a shared experience. And in the years since 1994, we've done a pretty damn good job at that. There have been the occasional problems along the way, but by and large we've brought people together and they've shared their experiences, their insights, their understandings. We've learnt about each other through talks given at moots, and a moot, if you're unfamiliar with the term, is a gathering, usually in a pub, sometimes a cafe or somewhere like that, where we come together, have a few drinks, socialise for a bit, and have a talk by either a member of our own group or some invited guest from outside who gives us a talk on some pagan-related subject, bounce a few questions around, and have a generally nice time and get to meet each other and socialise and hang out. Sometimes aside from talks, we have quiz nights, music nights, storytelling nights, all sorts of different activities that are of general interest to pagans. In terms of what a pagan is, if you are perhaps quite new to this and you're still browsing around and you're not 100% sure what these terms mean, the word has been used in a dozen different ways over the last couple of thousand years, but the way we use it in the IPC is to incorporate those religious movements and belief systems that are polytheist, that is to say they believe in many different gods and goddesses and other types of spirit, and those that are pantheist, which is not dissimilar to the idea of the Force in the Star Wars film. Pantheism is a belief that the entire universe is divine, and this sort of mystical energy runs through every single thing in the universe, including us humans, as well as cats and dogs and horses and zebras and elephants and rocks and rivers and trees and plants and what have you, that one can commune and tune in and harmonise with this profound force, the very life force itself. Now, some of our members are committed polytheists, some are committed pantheists, and some people are still exploring. They're not specifically one thing or another. We're open to people who are just generally interested, are seekers, rather than having sort of aligned themselves to a particular ethos or philosophy. So that incorporates, if you're wondering, and we will be doing little recordings to explain to you what things like the specific traditions are, like Druidry and Wicca and heathenry and Cometicism and Hellenism and so forth. So we'll give you a flavour of what they are as we go along. Now, alongside our monthly pub moots, which pretty much since the day we started have been held on the second Wednesday of each month, we have picnics when the weather's good, which it isn't very often in Britain, but on the rare occasion it is. We go out for a picnic in the park. People sometimes bring their families along, their kids. It's quite jolly and social. We don't have children at the pub moot because it's a pub, it's an adult environment, but certainly for things like the picnics, the outdoor gatherings, then families are welcome to attend. So if one of the people listening to this is under the age of 18 and you're interested in coming along, you would need to be accompanied by a responsible adult. So rather than just turning up by yourself, your mum, your dad, your auntie, uncle, grandfather, a carer, somebody or another would need to come along with you to say that it's okay for you to be there and to be with you as a sort of general safeguarding issue. So you're not banned from coming, you just need to bring somebody with you to attend with you. We also have socials every now and then. Some of our members have got a taste for a bit of a fancy dress party every now and then, but we also do other types of social gatherings, go for meals. If there's a film on that seems particularly relevant to pagans, we might do a film trip outing and then go for a drink afterwards and discuss the film. We put on courses. We haven't done so recently, but we used to fairly regularly run an introduction to paganism course when there was a lot of demand from new members wanting to know what is paganism. So we put that on as a freebie for our members, people who are interested in attending, and we are likely to start one again in quite the near future, because we're beginning to get more interest from people who want to know more. We do interfaith work and outreach work, explaining what paganism is to people in the wider community, because often there are misconceptions and misunderstandings, so it's quite important to clear up some of those false perceptions that are generated by dodgy films and dubious tabloid journalists and so on, to promote the positive face of paganism. I've mentioned a couple of times our members. We do have a membership fee. At the time of me recording this, that membership fee is £5 a year, and it has been £5 a year for a very long time. Depending on quite when you're listening to it, it might potentially have gone up at some point in the future, but it's £5 at the moment. That covers copies of the quarterly newsletter, which updates you on various events in the area, as well as having informative articles and humorous articles. Humour is a big part of paganism. And letters, columns and things like that for people to exchange ideas. It gives you access to the websites, it helps supports the various activities that we do. We used to, pre-COVID, do various environmental activities, and hopefully once COVID is over and done with, we'll be going back to that again. In order to become a member, you will need to be over the age of 18, but as I say, if you come along accompanied by an adult to the events that are not based in a pub, then you wouldn't be allowed to sign up, but you could just sort of attend and participate if you want to do it with your responsible adult. It's just generally a quite jolly, quite social sort of gathering for people to meet, share spiritual experiences, make good friends. Some people find groups to join. They'll go off and join a druid group or a coven or a hearth or what have you. Other people prefer to conduct their spirituality in a more solitary capacity, but that doesn't mean they don't appreciate having meetups with friends every now and then, and a chance to bounce around ideas with other people, exchange books and all of that sort of thing. So it's a good way of engaging with the spirituality of the ancient world and how that manifests into today's modern 21st century society. If you do have any questions, you can email through the link on the website, or you can post on the discussion section of the website, or indeed just come along to an event and pose your question there. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.